Coming up on today's show.
So I really kind of wanted to make my office upstairs a little bit more functional, a little bit more usable so that I would want to go up there.
So we show up one day, knock on the door, and you got this crew of like 10 people. You got camera people, sound people, light. How does that feel having, number one, people come into your home, but two, you're already feeling a little nervous about, how it's a little cluttered and stuff.
Going through this process, just to kind of that decluttering of making things, the things that you use all the time, things that you don't use as much, things that you don't use as often, you kind of put things into perspective too.
Behind the scenes from our Designing Spaces shoot today on Keeping You Organized. Hello and welcome to Keeping You Organized. Today we're going to do a little bit different show. We don't have a professional organizer on to give us tips, but we're going to talk about something really exciting. We have been featured on the Lifetime Network show Designing Spaces, and we're going to go behind the scenes. We're going to talk about, why we were called in to help the homeowner that we're going to talk to today. We're going to talk about some of the behind the scenes production stuff and some of the solutions that we offered. So joining us is Andrea Smith. Now, Andrea, you're in what part of the country?
I'm in a town called Boynton Beach, Florida. It's kind of in between West Palm and Boca Raton. So it's kind of right in the middle.
Okay, awesome. Now, I know when we were down there for the shooting a few months ago, it was super hot. I don't know, humid that day. Felt like it was about 100 degrees. But I'm sure now the weather's got stabilized and a little bit better for this Florida winter, right? That people love so much.
Yeah, it's 80s.
Nice.
stays pretty warm. We're going up north for the holidays, and I tell you what, it'll be. I think we saw Christmas Day is 80 degrees then too. I'm like, geez.
Yeah. Now, tell me what up north is from. Florida. You're pretty far south. Is it north of Florida or up into northern states?
Yeah, North Florida,
Okay.
Jacksonville.
All right. Yeah. Well, it's like, we're in Minnesota and we go up north to northern Minnesota where there's, snow and trees and all kinds of fun stuff like that. But anyway, we were down there filming for the Lifetime show Designing Spaces. And it's kind of an interesting story. You had this... obviously, you watch the show and they have listeners or viewers submit their issues. Let's talk a little bit about the organization challenge that you had that you kind of submitted to the show.
Yeah, I work from home or work for a company called Body Armor. And with working from home, I also have animals in my house and less than ideal for conference calls, that's for sure. But I have my office upstairs and all day I get shipments, whether it be UPS or FedEx, and just being upstairs is not always feasible. So I tend to turn that room into a junk room. And then I turned my downstairs dining room table into an even junkier office space. So I really kind of wanted to make my office upstairs a little bit more functional, a little bit more usable so that I would want to go up there. And that's kind of been the biggest challenge is since we turned it into a junk room about a year or so ago, I really haven't been able to use it at all. So I kind of called in the troops to help me out and help me get organized up there so that it becomes a little bit more workable and where I want to be in there.
Right. Well, now, so we show up one day, knock on the door, and you got this crew of like 10 people. You got camera people, sound people, light. How does that feel having, number one, people come into your home, but two, you're already feeling a little nervous about, how it's a little cluttered and stuff. What was that like that day?
Well, I think in the beginning, it was the first, beginning of it. It was kind of exciting, just to I'm very into like the entertainment kind of world. And I think it was exciting to have the lighting and the cameras and the makeup, girl there. But probably about halfway through the day when I realized that I actually needed to get some work done, it was probably a little bit like, I'm a little overwhelmed. So it was kind of hectic. I have kind of a smaller home and it was a lot of people in here, that's for sure.
Well, and the Designing Spaces show is a half-hour show, but it takes all day, and our segment was just probably about 6 or 7 minutes, but it takes all day not only to shoot it, but then they spend several weeks editing it together, and we were down in November shooting, so it's a big process to get that little amount, but that's just the way the film industry works. It takes time to make things happen. So So when we're there with the crew and Designing Spaces called on Smead to come in and give the organizing solutions, I had only seen a couple of snapshots, and it's kind of hard to tell from pictures, but once we were on the ground there in Florida, it's like, okay, we do have a challenge here. We have a dining room, which, you want to use it as a dining room. I think at one point, too, your husband was kind of encouraging you to, can you just get that office upstairs workable, right? Was that part of the dynamic, too?
Yeah, he's grown to be very sick of me working downstairs on the dining room table. And when, in general, when people come by and your dining room table is covered in paper, whether it be every little thing, the dining room table will be a catch-all, whether it was our mail or all of my work, it was just a catch-all for everything. And I think that my husband, he definitely wanted me upstairs 100%.
Well, and it's probably also difficult for you working if you're trying to equip two spaces and you think, oh, I have that paper. Now, wait a minute, is it that downstairs or upstairs? So that probably is a challenge occasionally too, isn't it?
Definitely. I'm sure probably double take notes. I probably am less efficient because of the fact that I can't find something that I need. I end up doing it twice,
right?
For sure.
Well, when we got in there and started looking through the room, and we mainly started up into the spare bedroom now, which is your office, and noticed that you had stuff everywhere. You had it on your shelves, you had it on your desk, you even had stuff on the floor. Again, because it was not only an office, it was kind of a catch-all room. So when we talked about the solutions, one of the first things we always recommend is that people just declutter. So we took and organize things into 4 categories. We did the stuff that you use almost every day, kind of your real active files. We did the files that you need frequently during the week, maybe a couple times a week. Then you have your archive stuff, which you want to hold on to and then put those away in a box. But then we got to the, some of the decluttering and throwing away. And it's always difficult for people to throw stuff away because you think, well, what if I need this sometime? How was that going through the process of just trying to, sort things out and throw things away?
It is hard to throw things away. I feel like my husband and I both are that way. And whether it be all of my work things, I worked from home for about 5 years now. And whether it be old work files that no longer are needed, all the way down to, I don't know, he saves everything. So that's a challenge for us both. And I'll tell you, going through this process, just to kind of that decluttering of making things, the things that you use all the time, things that you don't use as much, things that you don't use as often, it kind of put things into perspective too. Not only did it help me organize, but it put things into perspective like, okay, I never need this certain file. Is it really that important? So it really helped kind of me to really filter what was really needed and kind of cut the cord on some things that could go.
Well, what advice would you give to people? Because sometimes people just get overwhelmed by the fact that they have to start and they know, oh, okay, I got to do this and this and this. Any advice to people on just encouragement, even just to just take the first step, even just to do that part of it?
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it. Right. I know that's sometimes that's what we have to say,
Yeah, it is hard. And you look at the room too, and especially as cluttered as mine was, you look at the room and you almost just want to shut the door and walk away from it. And then you even get started and you think to yourself, oh, it seems to be getting worse before it gets better. And you just have to get in there and you just have to do it.
Right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to go through step by step some of the tools that we used to help you solve your problems. And we'll do that when we return here on Keeping You Organized. When you've got it together, everyone can tell. Your confidence is obvious. Introducing Viewables.com from Smead. Use the Viewables labeling system to transform your drawer of hanging files into a tidy, organized filing system. Using the premium hanging folder tabs, see the label from the front, top, and back. It's easy. Access Viewables.com from any computer, tablet, or internet-enabled smartphone. Let's make some labels. It's free, and there's nothing to download or install. Choose the label type and format your label just the way you want. You can even add index characters or icons for distinctive filing. Set up a free Viewables cloud account, and your secure login lets you save your projects for convenient access from any computer. And with Viewable's multi-purpose labels, you can use one label for any type of file, including hanging folders, top tab folders, super tab folders, or oversized items like notebooks and file boxes. Upload a list of file headings and print your complete set of labels in moments. There's even a library of templates for commonly used label sets. It's never been easier to set up neat-looking files that have easy-to-read headings and efficient color codes. Obviously organized. Viewables.com. From Smead, keeping you organized. We're back now on Keeping You Organized, talking about our behind-the-scenes shoot down in Florida. We're joined here by Andrea Smith from, now Body Armor is the name of the company you work for. You're like a salesperson, aren't you?
I'm the marketing person for the Southeast region.
Okay.
So I do all the marketing for, it's a sports drink. It's a natural sports drink. It's the better for you option. It's got more electrolytes, coconut water, a lot of the top name athletes like Kobe Bryant, Richard Sherman. They're all drinking Body Armor nowadays. They're saying, you know what, I want a better option for me than some of the other stuff that's offered on the sidelines.
Right. So your job really, you do work from home. You have a home office, which we came in to do the makeover on the show, Designing Spaces. But you also are out in the field, so you probably have to take stuff with you. And it makes for probably a difficult transition for someone who has to work at home, take things with them, come back. And then your problem was also amplified because you had kind of an office downstairs. We talked about in the first part of the program where you have your dining room, which you work down there because you want to take deliveries. And then you have the spare bedroom, which was a kind of a catch-all room. And we came in to try to just help you get that organized. So before the break, we talked about the idea of taking and decluttering, and we got you to categorize the files into your active files, your need frequently files, your archive files, and throw everything else away. So let's go through the solutions. The first thing that we recommended for you was the Stadium file, which is it sits on top of the desk. So it's like a file box that's open on the top, but it's tiered, and it allows you to see like 12 folders in it. How has that worked for you now where you're able to have that for those things you use frequently right on your desk? Has that solution helped you a little bit with your frequently used papers?
Yeah, definitely. It's also it's whether it be frequently used or just things that I need to remember that I'm working on right at that time, it's kind of kept me a little bit more organized on staying on top of the things that are pressing that I need to get going right away.
Right. And we talked about on the show too that you could take that if you need to carry that down there, but we also have another one called the Mini Stadium file, which is a little bit smaller footprint. You had your desk there had kind of a little bit of an overhang, so it fit nicely under that. And in there you can keep your envelopes, your notepads and things like that, maybe your outgoing mail, some of those kinds of things. We also talked about our poly file box with the fast tab folders, which are hanging folders. And the unique thing about those folders is they have the built-in tab. So that's something you can grab with your one hand and carry it from top to bottom. Has that proved to be helpful for you?
Definitely. And the raised tabs are excellent too for organizing and kind of really seeing where things are at in my file folder.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. Well, we also had probably one of our most popular products now, it's only a few years old, is our cascading wall organizer. And that was the colorful thing that hung on the wall, but it also serves a couple purposes. It's got removable files in it, but you can also cascade it down or up and put it into a little carrying, you put the little cord closure on it and take it downstairs or take it with you on appointments or however you want to use that. Seemed like the crew there that day, everybody wanted one of those, and we were able to give a few people those. How's that cascading wall organizer worked for you?
Yeah, I asked for two. So in two ways. So I actually, since I got two of them that day, it works in two ways. I kept one of them up in the office, which is excellent because I can put files that I'm working on or files that need to go, and I can wrap it up and take it with me on the road. I do a lot of flights, a lot of car driving as well, but a lot of flights, and it fits perfectly when it folds up into my backpack slash laptop bag. So love that. And then I also asked for the second one for my kitchen because it holds menus and mail and all those kind of items.
Yeah, we were finding that's just a real popular home solution, office solution, and so then that took care of more of your current files, the things you need on a regular basis, every day kind of thing. Then we did a makeover on your file drawer with the viewables, three-dimensional tabs. Remember, they're all color-coded and lined up on one side, very nicely organized. How has that made finding your files easier?
Love them. And a lot of so they come with, when we were organizing, we did kind of some broader terms, which I really loved because I was able to take certain things like a broad term, like credit cards. And I was able to put a couple different smaller files, the old files that I had, just kind of slide them in there. And now I've got this nice, bright, oversized tab on it that helps me find that very easily.
Right. Well, and a lot of people love that fact that, you've got not only the color, but you've got that big index character. Like, so if you call it credit cards, you got a big C there and you know where that's filed. So that's really, that product also has been around a while, but we recently did our new online version. In fact, you were even during the show able to go online and create your own labels. Did you find that easy to do?
Very, very easy to do and super cool too. I mean, it's just a great product. Like you just said, it's easy to find. It's got the big letter on it. Everything's alphabetized. It's oversized on the tab. So they're color coded. It's so much more organized. It looks better and it's easier to find stuff.
Awesome. Okay. So now we kind of did the before shot where we had we were there and we'd taken all the pictures before we even started our interview and our makeover and even on your dining room table afterwards. Boy, we walked out of there and your dining room table had placemats on it. It was beautiful. How does that feel having a dining room that you can actually use as a dining room again?
Well, my husband's happy. So that's all that matters.
Yeah.
My husband's very happy. In fact, he can eat dinner now at the dining room table and not on a TV tray because I've used up the table. So right. He's very happy with it too.
Great. Are there any other like organizing tips or things that you've learned from this process of being on TV, having a makeover done on your home office? What would you recommend to other people that are maybe struggling with the same kind of situation?
Don't let it get to that point. It was kind of eye-opening for me to see once the TV and the camera crew and everything were there, how unorganized it was and how messy it actually looked. And I think sometimes you can kind of, it's a mess and it's unorganized, but because you know where the things are, it doesn't feel as bad as it is. And I think having you guys all come in, I was really made a little bit more self-aware. And in general, I feel like after this and with given the right tools from Smead that I'm going to do a much better job of staying organized from here on out, because I don't want to end up in that situation again of, just kind of having things everywhere.
Wow. Well, Andrea, we had a blast. I loved it. In fact, coming, it was fun being in Florida. It was fun, doing the makeover, and hopefully you'll keep organized. And that's our whole line, keeping you organized. You've got a system now that you're working with, and we just want to thank you for opening your home and allowing us in there to help you out.
Thank you guys so much for helping me out. I expect 2016 to be very efficient for me this year.
Awesome. Well, folks, there you have it. That's kind of a behind the scenes of the Designing Spaces show. Andrea was there, opened her house. We brought this crew in, and the end result is we have a home now that is organized, and that's just one more home we can check off the list. We want to do it to everybody's home. So anyway, just a great way to start out the year, get you motivated for getting organized, and we'll see you next time on Keeping You Organized. Coming up next time on Keeping You Organized.
I mean, the feeling of achieving your goals for most people, for a large portion of the population, it feels great. And also you're a role model to people around you. And then let's think about it like this. They build on each other. So every time you achieve one goal, there's another one that you can look at, maybe taking yourself to the next level.